The moment everyone's been waiting for.
Boy.
I found some interesting shit
Mm-hmm.
about these movies and shit.
What you find out?
Hmm?
What you find out?
I'm gonna tell you when we start.
Okay.
So Q, what's up, Ronnie?
That's good.
And my Tupac snapback.
Nice.
It's a bit too small for me now, but fuck it. Yeah, this is back when I first had my podcast and my YouTube channel. I used to rock this all the time.
Damn, yo.
Appreciate it, Ronnie. So pretty much, I just read that. You know, the baby and Toy Lanez did a song together,
Mm-hmm.
and Megan Thee Stallion unfollowed the baby and shit.
Oh boy.
Cause like you remember Tory Lanez shot Megan. Mm.
Yo, what's up with that verses? That shit was short.
I didn't watch that shit, low
I'm saying
key.
that shit was an hour long, and then and they ended it. Yeah, Trina was getting her ass beat. So
Wow, wow.
that's the shortest verses ever. Wow, that's crazy. I was like, what, an hour? An hour versus?
And y'all were late too.
Yeah. And Eve, it was like 1 a.m. over in London, so
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some of the Outlaws movies, not all of them.
Yeah, I saw that was the one with EDI and Young Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Uh huh.
um, depending on what time we finish up this breakdown,
Yeah.
I might show the next part of this vinyl collection and shit.
Okay. So good.
'Cause I know I got some shit to do tonight. If not, I'll just pre-record it. High top with shaved head. Shaved, of course. Like y'all gonna make me laugh. Too. Trying to get some money tonight. But I just had like a best dinner, yo. I actually had dinner before midnight.
That's good. You're supposed to.
I had me some steak, biscuits, spaghetti.
Wow, you was having a feast.
Sure. Then later on, I'm about to Uber for like 2 hours so I can get this money.
Right.
Money.
Yep.
Where's Sam at?
Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Fell asleep, I guess. I don't know.
Happy birthday, Pop.
Yep.
And if you guys are wondering, yes, I did do a review on all of Tupac's albums. Y'all can go look at it yourselves and shit. Yep, it's true. The Outlaws did smoke his ashes. We're gonna start in about 4 more minutes. Oh yeah, today is MC Ren's birthday. Happy birthday, MC Ren.
Yes.
I'm about to drop some new music. By the way, how do you like this new webcam?
It's dope. It's good.
Yes. Since shout out to Semi with one about me and AJ's friends. He fixed my laptop and
Hmm.
got a new webcam
That's
with this
dope.
new fucking motherboard and shit, or whatever they call it.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm still gonna use my other webcam. Don't get me wrong, though, but that's like my best webcam right there. But this one, it's more convenient.
Hmm.
Cause I don't be real. I hate sometimes when I try to plug in my webcam and that shit always be fucking falling and shit. I'd be like, ugh. And this is why I like older laptops too, because they got like more advantage than these fucking newer
Right.
Apple laptops, I should say.
Right.
Appreciate it, Ronnie. Yeah, man.
Did they sign a death row? They signed a death row after he passed away,
Yep.
and they never came out.
Of course not.
You tried to warn them.
Y'all thought y'all trying to be superstars. Better R&B group. Jones Girls or LaBelle. Oh, LaBelle.
Are we really doing this now, Ronnie? Are we really doing this now?
Shout out to PJ and Cam though. Dope interview we did earlier.
Yes. Shout out Melvin Moore. Melvin Moore liked my post. Shout out to her.
Who?
Melvin Moore.
Oh, oh wow.
So shout out to her. Remember they asked their aunt. So
Yeah. We need to get her on one time, you know.
that would be dope. That would be dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, I think I might as well just start now. It's about 10 minutes. What's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely Wednesday? It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Shy with me.
What up?
Um, Today is June 16th. It is the birthday to one of the greatest MCs, poets, revolutionaries, actors, whatever you want to call it, Mr. Tupac Shakur. Yes, as you can see, I'm rocking my Tupac snapback right here. Um, I could have pulled out a Source magazine too, but fuck it, I'll pull that out a little later. But a lot of people would want to talk about his music
Mm-hmm.
or his songs, but I want to do something a little different.
Right.
I want to actually talk about his movies, like his acting,
Yeah.
because he was a very challenging actor from what I've seen. A lot of people when they talk about rapper to an actor, they always talk about Will Smith,
Mm-hmm.
Queen Latifah, Ice Cube. Those are like the top three. But Pac was really one of the rappers turned actors too. Like he had more success. He had success before Queen Latifah. Did Juice come out? Oh, Juice came out after Boys in the Hood. My fault. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hell, even way before Mark Wahlberg, aka Marky Mark, too.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he died at such a young age, he still left just as good as his discography was. I felt like his filmography was just as good. And with this episode, we want to talk about his filmography, but then we also want to talk about roles that he almost appeared on, whether it be like movies or TV shows too.
Right.
So yeah, this is gonna be a little different episode. So of course, we're gonna start off with probably his most iconic role, Juice. This movie came out in 1992 as Omar Epps. It has a young Samuel Jackson. It has Jermaine Hopkins, who was on Lean on Me. He was also had Khalil Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, do I even have to tell you what the movie's about? I mean, just about four black youth in Harlem. They wanted to make some money, end up robbing, and then of course Bishop got trigger happy. Yeah, I don't have to tell the whole plot. So pretty much, this was a very interesting because while he was working on this movie, he was finishing up Apocalypse Now
Right.
and stuff like that. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of rappers, they will sometimes wait until maybe like I'll give them maybe the third or second album before they maybe jump into movies. But this nigga jumped to it right away because but you guys should know he also studied acting and ballet, before rapping and stuff too.
Right.
Um, so of course, Tupac of course played Bishop, who was pretty much the antagonist of the movie. A lot of people have said that this was his best acting, which I'm gonna be real. His acting was A1. Everything was A1. I've always felt this was his best character than his best acting role,
Right.
if that makes sense, because the way how Bishop was written as angry youth. And it's like there's so much written about this character. Like, his dad is all messed up in the head, because he's either been in prison or he's seen some things and whatnot. And then it was just like you saw him gradually becoming like this cool, calm, collected, yet cocky cat. And by the end of the movie, he was like this, basically a psycho at the end of the movie and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, a little trivia about this movie too, what I found kind of interesting was the fact that he beat out a lot. He actually auditioned for this movie twice, and a lot of people auditioned for this movie, like Daryl Mitchell, of course, Tretch, Money B of Digital Underground, and a young Donald Faison and whatnot too. And around this time too, Pop was like, when he was filming the movie, he wanted to be called Bishop because he really wanted to capture the character
Mm-hmm.
of it. And one time there was a story about Jermaine Huggy Hopkins. He told a story about how Pac used to walk off the set because sometimes you used to get mad or amped up. And he played a prank on Tupac saying that he got fired from the movie. And when Pac found out that it wasn't true, he actually fought Jermaine Hopkins and stuff like that too. And the scene when Pac, he shot Raheem and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? When he
Mm-hmm.
cried and stuff, that actually got the respect of Omar Epps and Cleo Kane too. By the way, did you know Khalil Kane was 27 when he did that movie?
That was the first time I ever seen Khalil Kane in
It's
anything.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was at that time.
What's up, Alonzo?
What
What's
up?
up, Bruce? But yeah, man, it's like I love Juice. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie, but it's like the internet. It's like they treat this like it's Tupac's only movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of irritates me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm, I'm tired of seeing like motherfuckers quoting Juice. at the random occasion. I'm just like, okay, we get it, okay. But like I said before, I feel like this was, even though I liked his acting, I love his acting. Character wise, I feel like this was his best character. Period.
Definitely agree. That movie came out when I was in elementary school. I think I was like maybe sixth grade, seventh grade, and just you know, the poster was everywhere for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like the subway stations, Times Square had it everywhere. You couldn't miss it. I remember watching Young TV Raps episode with Fat Fat Freddy on the set of Juice with Tupac and
Yeah, I saw
talking
that.
about the movie, huh?
I saw that too.
Yeah, talking about the movie, and we didn't know at that time how big it was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? It was like him in his starring role coming from Digital Underground when after Sing Song came out and you know it's definitely a cultural film. When it comes to like Black Hood movies and the movie did a lot for that genre of movies coming out. After Boys in the Hood blew up and you know um Bishop was ruthless. Like he wanted the juice, he wanted that respect on the streets, and he would do anything to get it. And I think he wanted his friends to move like that. He wanted Q and Steele and Raheem to move like how he did. And when they wasn't, you know, when they didn't have his mentality, he turned on his own peoples and it cost him his life. You know what I'm saying? And um, you know, Q, I felt like there was always like that tension with Q and Bishop because Q was like the DJ. He had aspirations and dreams, and Bishop didn't like that. I almost like I think I mentioned this like a couple weeks ago. I felt like almost like Bishop was jealous of Q because he had his own ambitions and dreams and something going for himself. And Bishop came from a life of nothing. He came from poverty. He was on the streets. The Rodderman and his crew didn't have no respect for him, and I think he wanted like that whole idea of who has the juice and that street respect. It just took over his mentality and I think he ruined his friendships over wanting that street respect and you know um Steele wasn't built like that. Raheem, I don't know. I think if any of them, he probably could have made Raheem like him, but even with him, like he had his issues, and it was for that time. It was a great film. I think I've seen that film like hundreds of times. You know what I'm saying? Like and they always when talking about this film, it always goes back to at Steele's house in the living room, and you got Bishop looking out the window at Rodderman and his crew, and you got that iconic scene with him and Q getting in his face, and that's like one of the best scenes in the movie.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And this is like a hood film with a story. It wasn't like just a hood film just to be out there and like the movie companies trying to cash in on our culture. This is like a film with a story. The soundtrack was great. I still got the soundtrack, and
Yes.
even with the soundtrack, they had to change up the. Remember, they had to change up the picture with him holding a gun.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I used to see the poster for that everywhere with him holding a gun, and then after a while, they took the gun off.
You know why they did that, right?
Nah,
Because I think Paramount Pictures, they didn't want to see an African American youth or like holding a gun because
right.
they felt like it would provide like a bad message at that time
And
too.
and and that is still going on now. That was a real thing. My mom used to actually work with Paramount Pictures, back in like 93, 94, and that still goes on now. Like when they talk about gun violence and getting guns off the street, who's really like what when they say that they guns are always in the hood. There's kids that have guns. You know what I'm saying? There's more people in the hood with guns than the cops. You know what I'm saying? And that was just like a real real thing that happened that goes on in the hood, and you know his acting was good. Like I think he was a natural on screen, and he made you believe that he was Bishop. You know what I'm saying? And salute to Ernest Dickerson. He was a good director, and they just captured the griminess of how New York used to be in the '90s in Harlem, and I loved it. I loved it, and the cameos in the film. Queen Latifah and EPMD. I think Yo Yo was in that one of those scenes at the nightclub, and Tretch. Him and Tretch formed a friendship. You know what I'm saying? And it's a classic film to me. Like I never get tired of watching the film. Never get tired of playing the soundtrack. Definitely as far as like if we're gonna rank Pac films, this is definitely in my top three all time of any
I agree.
Pac films. The movie alone is one of my. If we talk about like hood films, and I don't like every hood film out there, but this is one of those films like this and Boys in the Hood and Menace are like top three for me all time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that, especially when it comes to like top plot movies and whatnot.
Right.
Now, I ask you one more question before you go to Poetic Justice. Do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like he took the Bishop persona for the rest of his career?
Pac was Pac was just Pac. Like I think I don't like the people you mentioned like Donald Faison. I couldn't see him
Hell
playing
no.
Bishop for this. Nah, that nigga was like in Waiting to Exhale and Scrubs. Like that would be like a big change for Donald Faison to play this role. That would have been had to be like a Denzel Training Day type of role for him. Like he would have to gotten an Oscar for that character flip.
I don't think
But
he could
this
have
this
pulled off
fit,
Training Day either.
huh?
I don't think he could have pulled off Training Day either like that, like a role like that.
Nah, this was the role for Pac because Pac was just living that life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it was that much of a difference. With Bishop and his real life persona. You know what I'm saying? Like he was misunderstood at times, and you know he was human. He had different sides to himself that he didn't. He wore his emotions on his sleeve, and he always showed that, and that's rare today to for artists in Hollywood to go through different emotions and show it, and he didn't care. Like that's just what it was for him. He'd be the same one to talk about when nobody call you bitch, and then do a song like Keep Your Head Up, and he had many different sides to this. So I think Bishop was just a part of him. And that's why it came off so real and authentic because that was basically another part of who he was as a person, not even an artist, and he did his thing. I couldn't really see nobody else pulling off that role. Like he was the perfect one for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving on. We're gonna get into Poetic Justice. This was the movie with Janet Jackson, Regina King, Guy Tori, poems by Maya Angelou. So this movie came out in 1993, and by this time, Pac was getting like popularity. Of course, Strictly for My Niggas was at the time blowing up. A lot of interesting things about this movie, but I'm gonna talk about the character he played first. He played Lucky, who was like the mailman, who's pretty much like to deliver mail to like a salon that Justice was working at. Justice playing Janet Jackson's character, who her character was pretty much going through depression due to like the death of her boyfriend, played by Q-Tip, who only appeared in like 5 minutes in the whole movie and shit. But okay. Um, and so pretty much what had happened was, Lucky, he was going through some shit too because he was raising his daughter Keisha, but at the same time his mom was a crack addict, and she was having sex with a drug dealer, and she wasn't watching her child, and Lucky was just couldn't take it no more. So pretty much, Justice, Lucky, Aisha, and Chicago, played by Regina King and Joe Torre, respectively, they go on this little boat trip, and then Justice and Lucky, they get to know one another, and they slowly fall in love with one another. Now, as a movie as itself, I do like Poetic Justice. It is somewhat predictable in certain parts. What's up, Ray Sean? Somewhat predictable in certain parts. The one thing I never liked about this movie was the overplayment of Janet Jackson's again. I never. That's one of the only things I really never liked about that movie. I like and I love the Janet Period album. It's pretty
Hmm.
much maybe my second or third favorite album from her.
Yeah.
But I'm so burned out from that song because of that movie. Now, as a role, this was a role that originally was for Ice Cube.
Hmm.
Originally, but at that time he was doing Trespass at that time too. With Ice T.
Right.
And I'm gonna be real, I can never see Ice Cube in this movie. This is like I don't know, man. But
I,
anyway,
I I could see Cube in it. I don't know if he would have had the same impact as Pac though.
I doubt it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I doubt it. And so this is a pretty good role for him. You know what I'm saying? This movie was filmed around the time of the LA riots and shit, and he would leave the set sometimes and participate in the protests,
Right.
but return in time for filming. Um, the chemistry with him and Janet, though, um, I must say this: when the writing does not force it, they actually do have some great chemistry.
Yeah.
That scene when what's that scene? They had the cookout.
Hmm.
They had a little cookout and they were having that
Yeah.
conversation.
They went to the other people's cookout.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I like the chemistry there.
Yeah.
But it's like I do admit with certain scenes like even though I like the when they were going back and forth with the van scene
Hmm.
and whatnot, I admit some parts was kind of a little overblown. And I do blame that on the writing
Hmm.
and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, we have to talk about that movie one day. We
Yeah.
gotta talk about that. A little trivia though about this movie was the fact that Tupac actually had an altercation with one of the extras on the set. The extra was a Bloods member, and it said that Pac he flashed like a Crip sign, and they were having a huge confrontation. But Maya Angelou had to pull him aside and like calm him down
Wow.
and stuff like that too. And I can't talk about this movie without talking about the infamous AIDS rumor, the
Hmm.
AIDS test rumor. Now, if you guys remember the interview he did, he talked about how Janet wanted him to do an HIV test.
Right.
And all these years I thought, oh shit, Janet wanted him to do an HIV test. But then um when I was watching the Legends panel, shout out to my homeboy Lamont Hicks, whom he did the Meter Joe review and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He said that pretty much they showed a clip how John Singleton said that him, Pac, and Janet pretty much came up with the whole AIDS test rumor as like a publicity stunt. Because at that time, people didn't know that much about HIV and AIDS. They didn't know that much about it.
And you
And
just
it's,
had Magic that came out and had to retire from the LA Lakers because of that.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And so, if you listen to the song "Got My Mind Made Up,"
Hmm.
All Eyes on Me, dope album by the way.
Hmm.
He had a line where he says, "Got me like Rhythm Nation, forgive
Yeah.
me, Janet,"
Give me
some shit
Janet.
like
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Very interesting. I never even knew about that shit too. Oh yeah, Ronnie. We're gonna talk
I
about all that shit. We're gonna
I
talk.
remember hearing about that rumor after the movie came out, and I think it was like once that came out, everybody talked about it. Oh, Janet had made Pac take a AIDS test because she didn't trust him and all kind of shit.
Yeah,
And I remember when that came out. I didn't know it was a publicity stunt, but I'm not surprised now. You know.
right. And ironically, no shade to Gina, but in the Velvet Rope tour, she was kissing random niggas in the crowd and shit like that too. But
Wow.
no shade though. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, everybody, we're gonna talk about a minute or so after. So stay tuned on that.
Hmm.
So 1994, we get into Above the Rim. Oh man, I got a lot of shit about to say. This came out in '94. It stars bitch ass Dwayne Martin, the underrated Leon,
Leon.
Marlon Wayans. the late great Bernie Mac, the always exceptionally well Wood Harris, the nigga from South Central, I forgot. Ah, shit, I forgot his name. He played the other security guard and shit. Um, Fuck it, it'll come back to me. Um, yeah, okay. So anyway, this movie's about. It's pretty much a sports movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about how Kyle, played by Dwayne Martin, he's graduating from high school. And he wants, go to NBA and shit like that, and is waiting on a scholarship from Georgetown.
Right.
At the same time, too, you have it's sort of like three stories all at once. Look, bear with me. You have Leon. He's like a security coach, but at the same time, he used to be like a, playing basketball a lot when he was
Right.
little and shit. Like he used to be very good, but then he stopped playing because his brother died. And I'm sorry, I gotta talk about this. When I want to be a dick for this, but fuck it. The first scene when they show the flashback, he's like, I can do this too," and he tried to do a little dunk shot, and he just crashed through the fucking window. I was like, okay, I can understand. I can understand him getting shot. I can understand maybe him getting a heart attack playing basketball. But you don't mean. I'm sorry, but I don't think anybody would really be doing a dunk shot in like a roof. You know what? Let me. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
threw
you
me off.
feel
That's like one of the things that threw me off guard about that movie
me.
and shit like that. It's like I can do this too.
Mm.
I was looking about stuff like that is not how he died. I had to rewind it. I was like, yo, you
But
got
it's like he was so haunted by Nutso's death, it just ruined him. Like, and he was like playing that scene where he's like playing by himself and he's like reliving that thing over and over again. That was really fucked up. I'm saying, I'm like, this
I don't
dude
mean to
needs
laugh.
some psychiatric help or something, man.
It was what it was every time I think about him playing basketball by himself, it's just Marlon's character say, yo, this nigga is
Right.
fucking out. It's every time I think about that, Marlon is always just comes. That's why I'm not laughing. But let me get back to this movie. I already know I'm going to hell, but fuck it. So next thing you know, Leon's character, he plays Shep. He's like this security guard
Mm.
and whatnot. And next thing you know it, he has a younger brother, played by Tupac. He's Birdie, who just likes to fucking troll fucking Shep. And he has like this rival street basketball crew with Wood Harris, who's pretty much like the lieutenant and the star player and whatnot. And then you have Marlon Wayans, which, oh man, he wasn't really part of his crew, but he wanted to be part of his crew. But he was best friends with,
They were just
you know,
playing him,
yeah,
string him along. What's good,
yeah.
Clutch?
What's up, Clutch?
Talking about above the rim.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna be quite honest with everybody. This is my favorite Tupac role. Period. His best acting was in this role
Right.
because I felt like with this role, he mastered the emotion of a very, how can I put it, threatening character, yet at the same time he's vulnerable, but he lets the vulnerability be overshadowed by his quickness and whatnot too.
Right. Right.
And it's kind of crazy too because everyone talks about the blade and shit.
Right.
And I was watching the Unsung Hollywood episode, very dope episode by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the blade was pretty much improvised by Pop.
Right.
And so the reason why he did that was because of the fact that when street hustlers, every time they want to intimidate somebody, they're quick to pull out a strap or a gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to use the blade because of the fact that he wanted to be intimidated. He wanted to intimidate with your mind, except
Right.
with the guns and shit.
Right.
And that was very, very dope and whatnot too. Because that's the kind of shit that I like about Denzel Washington
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to some of his movies when he gets in them angry roles, like when he got Game and shit like that. Of course,
Classic.
very underrated movie. Another sports movie too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, and just the scene. It's like the scene when the basketball game. It's funny scene when Leon's character was about to play basketball, and he was like, "But he ain't even in the team," and he's like, "He is now," and then
Right.
he just had a little temper tantrum and
He
shit
had
like that. And
did he have like corduroy pants on? I was like, yo, this was like a Rucker Park game and anything goes.
right,
Like the rules were like screwed up because you couldn't do
exactly,
that in a real game. Just walk on the court and be in the game just like that.
right, and
You know what I'm saying?
then the motherfucker referee was like, "You do that again, your team is out of here."
It was crazy.
It was some parts that was that he showed his comedic side
Right.
without it being very comedic. Like with
Right.
Will Smith,
Right.
like very dope actor, I like him, but when he shows his comedic side, it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pac is not. Is you have to be catch him at the right time and shit like that. When the basketball you was like, oh, let her play some man's
Right.
game
Right.
and shit like that.
And then when they get in their ass beat, you see Pac like throwing the chin shit on the
Yeah,
court.
like
That was hilarious. He was pissed. Like that's like you at that point you could tell that they were gonna lose this game, and it wasn't gonna be they wasn't gonna be nice about losing that game. They were really sore losers. Wood
right,
Harris character pulls out the strap and starts shooting people on the court. You know what I'm saying? And like that point, things got out of hand.
exactly. And two more things I want to say. This was actually the first role that he actually got where he didn't actually have to audition for the role.
Right.
The director handfully picked him and shit too. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of crazy because this is around the time when he got shot in New York,
Yeah.
and they actually had to use like a double in certain basketball scenes and shit too. And remember that Williams Brothers episode when Sean was in the first episode when Sean was dressed like Tupac and then he was pushing Marlon. I was like, "Who you think you is, Tupac and shit?"
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about Above the Rim. It's a classic
Yeah,
movie.
definitely. And the soundtrack.
Oh my! Don't even get me started
I
on
wish they had put the Pain song on the soundtrack. And they just re-released that for Record Store Day on vinyl and colored vinyl, and the song is still not on it.
There's a lot of songs like loyal. The original "Loyal to the Game" should have definitely been on there.
Yeah.
But we got some of them whack joints and shit too. Like, yeah.
Definitely a classic movie, man. Like Bernie Mac, rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Remember he was in
Oh
it
my
as well.
god.
Um, he the way he went out was fucked up, but I think that's like one of the scenes that people talk about a lot in that film, and you know yeah, Dwayne Martin did his thing. I thought that was like one of his best roles. In Leon, of course, and it's that I want to say we've seen movies like that where you have like the star. I know I've seen movies like that where like you see like you have the star point guard on the team or the star basketball player that's he's trying to get to the NBA, but he has like friends or associates holding him back. And I thought it was a great film. That's another film that I've seen a lot of times, and I really want to get that soundtrack and just a great film.
Yeah, definitely a very, very, very dope film. Um, Speaking of Bernie Mac too, I want to say that was like might be his first dramatic role too, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say that, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's like
man.
right after like Def Comedy Jam.
Right, like after all that shit,
Hmm.
around the time House Party 3 was coming out.
Right.
Yeah, man. I wonder what him and Pop's relationship was and shit like that. I never know,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. For the next movie, I was not able to find a copy of Bullet anywhere. This was released in limited distribution in '96, so I
Hmm.
want to let Try do most of the talking with this one.
Bullet was man. That movie was all over the place. Like I know Pac was playing like a drug dealer. He had like an eye patch like Slick Rick because he had lost one of his eyes, and
Oh wow.
he had beef with Mickey Rourke's character, and I think Mickey Rourke like owed him some money. And I think that was like around the same time like him and Mickey Rourke formed like a friendship
Yeah.
because they were really close, and I'm trying to think who else was in it. I saw that shit like a long time ago. It was like a lot of shit, a lot of drug snorting going on, a lot of sex that was going on in that film. Um, Mickey Rourke's character, like he had a brother in the film that had did like some time in the war, and like when he like it totally like fucked up his head where he was like living with his parents and he had like his whole room was like in he had like guns and bullets and all type of shit in his room. Like he really thought he was like going to war again, so like it really screwed him up.
Oh wow.
And I don't that movie wasn't good, yo. Like that I don't even think if it came out in theaters, it went to like limited theaters. Like, I ended up seeing it on cable back in the day, and I have a homeboy that he was telling me like about the film. Like they filmed it in Brooklyn and like in Coney Island, and that movie was all over the place. It wasn't good. I'm not really a fan of Mickey Rourke films like that. I think a lot of his films are bad, but yeah, it wasn't good. Tupac had a small role in that. Like he had like I want to say like maybe two or three scenes. Like I know like at the end he got killed, but he didn't have like a prominent role like he did with Juice and Above the Rim. It was more about Mickey Rourke's character in that film, you know. But they played I remember they played Jay Z in My Lifetime the remix. That was like on the soundtrack. And when the credits were rolling, they were playing that. Ironically, I'm like, and he had beef with Jay Z down the line, but they were playing Jay Z in this movie. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So you couldn't find it on streaming?
Nah, not even on Fire Stick.
Wow. Yeah, that means it's like it's probably I don't even think it's on Blu-ray. That's like super out of print.
Yeah, man. As now the next movie. Oh, now this was I recently watched like the last two movies for the first time in preparation of this, and this movie caught me by surprise, gang related.
Hmm.
Jim Belushi and Tupac, Lila Vachon, James Earl Jones, Dennis Quaid. Where do I begin with this movie? So pretty much it's about these cops. Yes, cops. Tupac actually plays a cop in this movie. They're trying to look for like a notorious drug dealer, ironically played by Homo D. But at the same time, too, Da Vinci, he ends up, killing the motherfucker and shit. And so the cops pretty much try to pin the murder on like this homeless dude. After they try to pin and successfully pin the murder like three times. Because there was this one scene that cracked me up was when the second time they busted the motherfucker's door. The way Pop ran with the fucking gun. It's like Jim Belushi kicked the fucking door down. Pop
Right,
was like, boom!
right.
I had to rewind that shit like 10 times. Like, what the fuck? Like, and what I liked about this was the homeless guy that they tried to pin the murder on. Ironically, Lila Rashawn, who was a stripper, knows the homeless person.
Hmm.
And it's like a very dope thriller. Fucking T.C. Carson, played Kyle from Living Single, was on that shit too. Getting his ass beat throughout the whole fucking movie. The chemistry between Jim Belushi and Pop, though,
Hmm.
very dope chemistry. And I like Jim Belushi. I never knew he could really pull off a role like that because I was used to seeing him like comedic roles, like in the SNL and then According to Jim, and shit like that. Um, the fucking one scene when he pulled a strap on Pac because he thought Pac was a rat and stuff like that too. And Pac, his character had like a drug addiction too, and he was ironically on Bebo and this other cat, they were like he had a gambling debt too, and they were about to beat his ass and shit too. I think he had to give him like $3,000 just to shut them up for now.
Right.
But back to the chemistry between Jim Belushi and Pac, there was an interview that Jim Belushi did where he talked about how at first he didn't really want to work with Tupac because I think one time Pac came late And Jim Belushi was like, "You're not one of those rappers that would just come late and just be flashy and all that shit." And Pac almost beat his ass pretty much. And but they ended up becoming cool with one another. And Jim Belushi actually put Tupac onto Frank Sinatra,
Nice.
and he loved the song "Come Fly with Me." And Pac at first wanted to sample that, but he said a certain song shouldn't be sampled, and which is I definitely agree with this thing too,
Right.
because that song "Come Fly with Me," I've heard. Ironically, Diddy sampled that
Oh
for a
God.
song with Craig Mack, ironically,
Of
but
course he did.
yeah. um, what else? I mean, the cast was very dope. Lila Shawn, definitely very exceptional actress right there.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, another. James Earl Jones is great. Period. I mean,
Right.
and shit. Who else? T.C. Carson, like I mentioned, Dennis Quaid. I definitely feel like this movie right here was a very, very, very underrated movie and whatnot. And I kind of feel it's underrated because it kind of came out after
Yeah.
Pop died.
They didn't do a lot of promotion for it.
Yeah, they from what I've heard they didn't.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to review this movie definitely one day very soon and
Yeah.
shit because this is a dope movie. I swear to God.
It was kind of weird seeing him play a cop. Even like when I see Ice T now in Law and Order, that's still weird to me. Them playing cops, but um, it was an odd pairing, and I think Tupac was just that talented as an actor that he could just make it work with anybody that he was starring next to. So I think he made it work. It's been a minute since I saw the film too.
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Yeah,
In my opinion, the best streaming service. It's true.
they
Better
got a
than
lot of
Netflix
hood
and
films
Hulu.
on Tubi.
Yes, I don't give a fuck what no one says. I want to watch Tubi in a
A
heartbeat.
lot. I've
Yes,
seen hood films with Az and Black Rob together, and I never heard about them before.
right.
You know,
Um,
that's a weird pairing.
they got a movie that's never been released on DVD that's on that
Right,
shit.
right,
Like, and it's for free.
and for free. You know what I mean?
Wow, they even got the legendary Soul, not Soul Train, but Soul, like the first soul music show and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
But anyway, that's enough of my 2D masturbation and shit. The last movie he did that was released was Gridlock. This stars Tupac, Tim Roth, um, what's her name? Sandrine Newton.
Andy Newton.
Andy Newton.
Yeah.
Of course, Malcolm Woodbean, motherfucking Howard Hessman from WKRP in Cincinnati. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Um, Vondi Curtis Hill. Yeah, this was a very interesting movie.
Yeah.
It's a black comedy, but in a weird way, it's still like a thriller in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
So it stars like Tupac, Tim Roth, and Andy Newton. Gosh, I hate silent letters. They play like some heroin addicts, and it's New Year's Eve, and they're also like in a band, like this little band called 8 Mile Road.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cookie overdoses on her first hit, you know what I'm saying? And Spoon and Stretch pretty much try to get her help, call an ambulance or whatnot. But at the same time too, it's pretty much like all the bad shit that happened. So they try to call an ambulance, but they weren't able to call an ambulance and shit like that. So they ended up dragging her and carrying her all the way to the hospital. Mind you, they get to a county hospital. And you guys watch a lot of hood movies. You guys should know about county hospitals, how they expect you to sign up all these fucking forms, and you have to wait for all these motherfuckers, and you have motherfuckers in this cramped up room and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like if you remember Menace to Society, which the over dramatic scene where Kane gets shot,
Right.
even though it ended up being an arm and shit like that, and they
Mm-hmm.
all carry Kane, he's all bloodied up.
I thought he was dead on arrival. I'm like, all this blood from an arm wound.
Yo, this nigga was all bloody up, and he ended up getting hurt in the arm. I'm like, what the
Right.
fuck?
Is he dead? Is that the film?
Yo, when MCA was like, hey, yo, we need an emergency room. Can't fucking Larissa was like, yo, God!
I'm like, don't let it end like this.
Right, I was like, the movie just started. Like,
Hmm.
damn. But yeah, but back to Gridlock. So they end up getting kicked to the hospital. And next thing you know, they want to end up getting clean.
Hmm.
Turns out you have to like go through like, all this detox process, but at the same time stretch. So like this fucked up radio to these hustlers, played by Vonnie Curtis Hill
I
and
think
shit.
he directed the film too, right?
He did, yes.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, it was a bad radio, and they had to kill him. And they're over here trying to get clean too, but they ended up trying to get high, and then there was a murder in a fucking building. And I look at myself like, y'all don't hear them fucking gunshots. Y'all that high on that heroin.
Hmm.
Y'all don't hear them. I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, maybe they're just used to it. And so the two funny scenes I want to talk about when the cops came and they fucking dropped the heroin on the floor. Yo, that the way how Pop looked all shocked and shit, trying to get like I said before, it's like his comedic side. You have to look hard for that shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then they were trying to like get that shit with the fleet feet, but then the fucking hustlers were looking at him, and then they were on the run. And then when the cops first saw them and stuff like that, they were trying to stall them because they were like, "You see the hustlers? We just asked their guys help right there." You know? But yeah, man. This movie you have to watch a couple of times to really appreciate it. I'm saying,
Yeah.
but this music, the music with the one mile, the jazziness and stuff like that, definitely loved it. Um, it's kind of crazy. I recently got the Gridlock soundtrack, and that Life on the Fast Lane track.
Hmm.
Definitely love that track and stuff like that. Life is a traffic jam. Excuse me. Definitely like that track. Definitely had like a. It's definitely interesting hearing Pop do a spoken word flow like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So definitely a very underrated movie, I should say. Yeah.
That movie to me was like all over the place. It was like a lot of
Yeah.
running around. A lot of them like it were getting into like a lot of situations that they really shouldn't have been a part of. And I guess that has something to do with them being the drug addicts and wanting to get clean. But it's like at the same time they want to get clean, but they still shooting up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, make up your damn mind. Do you want to get clean or not? Like, while you're, you know what I'm saying? Is this? I don't know. I've never been a drug addict, so I don't understand what goes on in the head of a drug addict, and I think that's what the movie tried to, portray. Like, this is what happens when you're a heroin addict and you're trying to get clean, and there's just a whole bunch of running around and a lot of goofiness going on. I'm like, it's not one of my favorite films. Tim Roth is a great actor. It didn't do it for me. And I watched this film like more than once, and I'm like, nah, it's not the to me it's not like a memorable film for him. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Interesting.
I think and Danny Newton is a great actress. I've seen her in a lot of stuff. I just I don't know. I don't know what to make of this film. It's just not something I would go back to watch from him. The
I feel you.
soundtrack was dope, but man, the storyline could have been better.
Yeah.
You know.
Two things I do want to mention. The weird camera zoom ins and shit like that. That have you
Right. Yeah, I
like
mean, those are like the type of zoom ins they had during the '90s for
right.
cameras. You know.
And then I gotta talk about what Hal Hessman's character, how he played like some war veteran, just drug abuse war veteran who just smashing up shit.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, but anyway, before I talk about like the movies he was supposed to have been in, I do want to mention the A Different World episode too.
I love that.
Yes, the Homie Don't You Know Me episode for the last season.
Yeah.
Very dope episode. Kadeem Hardison actually directed that episode too.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, man. The last season of Different World was very underrated. I don't care what no one says.
Yeah.
Um, Pac played like this friend to Jada Pinkett's character. I think her name was like Lena, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much she was dating Bumper Robinson's Dorian and whatnot too. And pretty much, it's pretty much, how can I put this? Two words coming together when they don't want to come together. Because, Lena's over here trying to be like college or whatnot, and she want to leave the past where it's at.
Right.
But she's conflicted about that shit too, because that's where her roots are from too.
Yeah.
Then you kind of saw the distance between, Charmaine and Dorian and whatever the other guy's name is,
Mm.
and with Piccolo and his other crew and shit like that too. Very very dope episode.
Mm.
I love the scene when they had that fight in the club
Mm.
and pretty much. You know how '90s fights be with the
Exactly.
studio audience, like woo,
Mm-hmm.
woo,
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that. Oh man, it's like different world. I love that fucking show.
Yeah. And Jada was conflicted in real life for her feelings for Pac.
Oh, let's not go.
You know,
Yeah.
if y'all ever seen the Resurrection movie, you got to see the DVD version because like they cut out her interview about Pac,
Right.
and when you see it on the extras and she was like bawling her eyes out, you would swear that was her own man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, could you? I mean, could you say that maybe Will Smith was just the substitute that maybe she got with Will for a quieter life instead of getting with Pac and his craziness?
I
Cause
don't know.
I
I
feel like
don't want to
her
talk
heart is
about
with Pac. I don't think her heart is. I mean, you have an open marriage with Will Smith for this long. I don't think her heart is with Will Smith like it was with Pac.
that. Do we have to talk about this now?
No, I just thought didn't we talk about this in the group chat? I just brought it up because I'm like, you know, everybody knows about how she felt about Pac and how Pac felt about her, and I felt like that we saw that on Different World that episode, and I think it played out in real life as well.
Hmm, I feel you. But yeah. Now we're gonna talk about like the movies like he was supposed to have been or shows he was supposed to have been in too.
Right.
Now, of course, Menace to Society, of course.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to play Sheriff, the Muslim gang member, who ironically MC Ren was also supposed to be in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to play that because him and the Hugh brothers, who they had a good chemistry with, had of course the fighting where he beat their ass and shit, and pretty much went on Yo MTV Raps and
Mm-hmm.
bragged about it,
Right.
or actually whooped their behind.
Yep.
Oh shit. Yeah, he was supposed to have been a minister. He was actually supposed to have been on higher learning too.
Right.
He didn't be there because of his legal issues with the sexual abuse and
That would have been
shit.
good. That would have been good.
Yes, him and Cube though.
Yeah.
Oh, ironically, him and Cube was supposed to have been on Baby Boy.
I didn't know about Q. I remember hearing about Pac.
Yeah,
Wow.
because that was supposed to have came out in the late '90s too. They started talking about it in the late '90s, but of course we all know what happened.
Right.
That's why that scene where they had the meal in the park and they had the Hail Mary montage and shit.
Right. Classic scene.
Hmm.
That definitely could have. I think he would have did better in that role than Tyrese. You know what I mean? Because Tyrese he was gonna play Jody, right?
Yeah,
See, because Pac to Jody would have stood up to Melvin. Tyrese Jody got punked. You know what I'm saying? And
nigga, you
I
need
think
to move.
it's a great movie. I went to see that. I went to see Baby Boy when it came out. It's a great film. One of my favorites from John Singleton. Rest in peace to him. But Tyrese Jody, it's like he made like it was good the way that the film came out because of how Jody was and how he was perceived by his mom and everybody else. But
Right.
if Pac was Jody,
Oh
I think it
hell
would have been a different Jody. Jody would have stood up to Melvin. I don't think Tyrese did, but Tyrese got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that would have happened to Pac. If you put Tupac in that same role, and they have that confrontation, that might have went different for Melvin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think I could definitely see Pac as Jody. That would have been interesting to see.
Very interesting. Oh, now, ironically, Snoop actually ended up being the baby boy too.
Right.
Now, interesting story. Even though he did appear as himself on In Living Color, he actually was supposed to perform one
Mm,
episode. But what crazy story, and this is coming from the In Living Color book I have.
right.
He was riding with his homeboys in a limo driver, and he wanted to spark a joint in the limo. And the
Mm-hmm.
limo driver said, "You can't do that shit." And he had an argument with the limo driver because of that shit. And so the limo driver stopped, and he went to get something from his trunk. I
Mm,
think Pop thought he had like a gun or some shit.
right.
And I think he went out and I think he beat the limo driver's ass.
Oh my god.
And
No. So
next
what?
thing
Why did the limo driver go to the trunk? What was he getting?
I don't know. I think he had to stop to get something, or I don't know.
Well,
But
if you arguing with a limo driver and they stop in midway and go to the trunk, you're gonna assume they going to get a weapon. So he deserves his ass beat.
shit. And so, mind you, Rosie Perez and Pop were pretty cool at that time too.
Mm. Yeah, he
And
was he was boning Rosie. Yeah, I know that. He took Rosie. Didn't he take Rosie to the Source Awards?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Come on.
And didn't Rosie introduce Pop to Madonna?
I think. Yeah. I think that's
He
how
fucked with
they went
Madonna
about.
too.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
McDonald's. McDonald's without everybody. So
Well, yeah, yeah. And so, yeah,
original Kardashian.
let's not go that far. And so the police and Pop got into it in the studio, and he was replaced by Heavy D that night. He was actually supposed to have appeared on New York Undercover too,
Hmm.
but some of the cast members was kind of scared of him, pretty much.
Of course.
And Malik Yoba pretty much said that I think Pop gave him a Thug Life T-shirt
Mm,
too. So interesting.
yeah.
Um, what else? What else?
Yes, we talking about Rosie Perez.
And crazy shit. He was supposed to be on Star Wars Episode One: The Phantom Menace.
Really?
Yep, he was almost
Hey,
because
who Mace Windu?
yeah, Mess Windu, yeah,
Oh, so that's Samuel Jackson. Okay,
yep.
I can't see Tupac in there.
'Cause
Nah,
he was a Star Wars fan. At first, I had to think about that. He did
that
sample that for the Pain song too.
that might have. I don't know. That might have ruined his career. I can't see that. Oh
Shit.
man.
He even wanted to audition for the shrimp guy in Forrest Gump too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tupac in a Star Wars film. I don't know. That's a stretch.
Hey, Pop could have done it.
That's a
Maybe.
stretch. I mean, not to say he couldn't have pulled it off. I just, I don't know.
Shit.
And when you come from ambitions as a rider to defend the menace, I don't know if I could see him as in Star Wars film.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And that concludes the Tupac movie breakdown. All right. It's up.
So did he actually like meet George Lucas for the role?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I never knew that.
Hmm. I never knew that too till I looked it up after I watched that Unsung episode years ago.
That's crazy.
All right. I'm gonna stay on for a couple minutes. I'm gonna show these vinyls.
Yeah.
These vinyls I got. I call this the Blue Crate edition. Yeah, I would show y'all the crate, but it's heavy as fuck.
You got like a milk crate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. All right. Got Michael Anderson
Dope.
going places. This came out in 1977. You know, very dope jazz artist. I only got this for the song "Let Me Love You," which DJ Quick sampled. A lot of rappers sampled that shit.
Right.
Comic Most Wanted to. At the concert was pretty dope too. So yeah, very very dope album. Got Jimi Hendrix, Axis Oldest Love.
Nice.
This is the second album from '67. One of my favorite albums he's ever put out. This was known for songs like If Six Was Nine. What was song? What was song? Got Me Floating.
Right.
Very very dope album. His songwriting got very dope on this album too. High Energy. Turning On.
Dope.
This was a Motown girls group from the late '70s. Very dope album. Very underrated if you ask me. Um, this was like kind of like them trying to capture the same match the Supremes had,
Right.
but they weren't really that promoted that well, in my opinion. Um, Definitely got to talk about this album one day.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not familiar with them. Maybe if I heard like some of these songs.
If you remember that Motown 25 before they performed with the bar, that he's a pretender, that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that when I was like 6 years old.
Of
Only part I remember is Michael and the
course.
Jacksons.
Yeah. Then we got Billie Holiday, Lady in Satin.
Nice.
This was the last album that came out in '58. This was a very dope album, in my opinion. At the time, it was kind of criticized because her voice was kind of
Hmm.
bad for the drugs and stuff like that too.
Right.
And she was kind of going through like a lot of shit around this time. Y'all check out the Lady versus United States movie, the recent movie that came out by Billie Holiday.
Hmm.
Very dope movie. Y'all check that shit out. Um, Ray Ellis and his orchestra did the background instrumentation. Must have in your collection. Got Whitney Houston's Whitney
Nice.
album.
Classic.
I don't know if I would call it that,
You
but
know? You don't think it's a classic?
I I have mixed feelings on this album. There's certain songs I don't like.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm tired of Where Do Broken Hearts Go.
I love that song.
I'm tired of So Emotional.
You don't like that song? I love that song.
No,
Her early stuff to me was like the best shit.
I feel you. I mean,
You know?
I know a lot of fans love this album
Mm,
and shit like that. I'm not gonna lie,
mm,
but I'm an honest Whitney fan, and yeah, let's stay tuned on the review for this one.
okay.
I do love the album cover though.
Yeah, it's nice. She looks happy on that album cover.
Yeah, drug free.
Yep.
Um, Phyllis Hyman, You Know How to Love Me. We recently did a review on this album and shit. Very, very dope albums when she was working with Clive Davis on the Vista Records. Yeah, very, very dope shit. Alright. Everybody wanna text me. Got Ice T.
Nice.
Ron Page. This was 1987. This was his first album. This is known for songs like Six in the Morning, um, Make It Funky. I'm not gonna lie. This is the album I respect more than I like.
Hmm.
I'm grateful I got this on vinyl because this usually goes for like a lot of money and shit. I got this like $20.
Dope.
But I like certain songs, but you can still tell he was still trying to find his flow, in my opinion.
Do you
But yeah.
feel like you ever found it? Cause I don't. I don't feel like. I feel like his flow was all over the place.
I mean like not flow, his style, like his
The
style.
style.
But his flow was all over the place in those first two albums and
Hmm.
shit. But yeah, this is a if you're an Ice T fan, I would definitely have this in your collection if you can find it. Speaking of this, Power,
Yes.
very dope album. Love the album cover. Him and his wife at that time, Darlene, and shit. This is known for songs like Power, High Rollers, I'm Your Pusher, which pretty much started the beef with him and LL. Um, Girls, Let's Get Butt Naked and Fuck. So on. I mean, this whole fucking album is a masterpiece. One of my favorite gangster rap albums. Period. I mean,
Baby mama on the cover.
yeah,
Gorgeous.
better than that fucking Coco and shit. Got fucking Gregory Isaacs, The Night Nurse.
Night Nurse.
Yes,
Classic.
1982. Got that classic reggae.
Hmm.
I can't show you. I got to play some music right now and shit.
Rest in peace to him.
Yes, rest in peace. Yeah, I got plenty of me to watch on these vinyls and shit. Get the mood right. But yeah, I love the reggae in the '80s in a weird way. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I just
Hmm.
love how they would use like synthesizers, and this album definitely used like a lot of synths, and
Yeah.
we mixed it with the acoustic guitars. Definitely love that shit.
Back when reggae was good.
Yeah, Mac, you're right about that. You're right. Got Bob Marley's "Waiting in Vain" playing in the background.
Hmm.
You got the Isley Brothers with "3 Plus 3." Came
Nice.
out in '73. This was like the beginning of the 3 Plus 3 era. Very, very dope album, known for songs like "That Lady," "Listen to the Music," "Summer Breeze." They were continuing the covers of the rock songs in this album too. Love the album cover, in my opinion. Definitely a classic
Do,
album.
do you have the Is that like how many album vinyl do you have from them?
I got one, two, three, four. I got four vinyls from them.
Do you have Live It Up? 'Cause I got an extra copy of that too on vinyl. Oh, you got Live It Up. Okay.
Yeah. I forgot I had this album too. Yeah. This came out in '74. Yo, the title track,
Hmm.
one of my favorite Ozzy Brothers songs. Check out the Soul Train performance they did. Definitely very dope. Known for songs like Hello It's Me, Lover's Eye. Definitely a very dope album.
Yeah.
Then we got The Heat Is On.
Yeah.
Yes, I recently done a review on this album too. Very, very dope album, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say this is like their best album. Forgive the condition on this album though, but yeah. For the Love of You, Sensuality, Fight the Power. I mean, come on. Showdown. This came out in '78. Um, this is a solid album, Groove with You, Cooling Me Out, Ain't Giving Up No Love. This was a pretty solid album and shit.
Yeah.
Between the Sheets
Yeah.
came out in '83. Very dope album, in my opinion. Of course, everyone knows Between the Sheets. Everyone and their mamas sampled that. Choosy Lover, Touch Me, and then you had Ballad of the Fallen Soldier. I mean, Slow Down Children. This was like the last album of the 3 Plus 3 era, too. What a way to go out, in my opinion.
Right.
Got J. Cole with KOD.
Nice.
Came out in
Underrated.
2018. Very dope album, in my opinion.
I love the album
Um,
cover.
yes, love the album cover, photograph, all that
They,
shit.
they need to release that like on a colored vinyl.
I agree.
Like purple or something, or blue or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, another
Yes.
classic.
Another classic.
One of the best instrumental albums.
Yeah, mind you, I says Jay Dilla, y'all.
Yes.
It says Jay Dilla. This is a legendary Donuts album. Very dope instrumental. I mean, rappers are still getting beats from this album to this day.
Hmm. But Buster killed half of those beats alone.
Right. Got Ja Rule with BD BD Vici.
Nice. Oh, they got the promo copy.
Yeah.
That's dope.
This came out in 1999. Definitely going to do a review on this album very soon. This is his
Yes.
first album. No songs like Miss Murder, you know, One of These Seven Murder, Holla Holla. Very, very dope
The
album.
joint with Eric Sermon. Now that's one of my favorites.
Ooh,
Did
yes,
did you see Swiss Beats was like in the comments and the verses, and he's like asking people, who do you want to see Ja Rule against? Everybody pick 50.
of course.
I'm like, make that happen. I want to see that. I don't want to see Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
Question is, would 50 do it?
He need to. That would open up like his audience for the new generation now.
True.
You know. Yes.
The
One of his
Rule,
best.
336 album. Probably his most balanced when it comes to like the poppy R&B and like the
Hmm.
hardcore shit.
Right.
Um, even though I can't stand the song, I cry. I can't stand that song. There's little songs like "Put It On Me,"
Mm.
"Between Me and You."
Yes, classic.
Love that
I think that was
song.
the first time I heard Christina Milian.
Yeah, "Ecstasy." Ooh, very hot joint.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, very dope album.
Definitely.
Got "Blood in My Eye."
Yes. Blood in my eye.
Came out in 2003. Um, it's pretty much like originally a mixtape,
Yeah.
but it ended up being like a diss album towards all of his rivals at this time too.
Mainly 50.
Right.
Hmm.
Um,
I love the
yeah,
album cover.
yeah, this is the promo copy as well too.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid album and shit.
Review coming soon. I have the album, but I haven't played it that much since it's been out. So
Oh yeah. Jawa reviews are definitely coming. Trust
right,
me. The Jacksons, maybe tomorrow.
dope,
One of my favorite albums they've done. Just came out in '71. Um, it's known for something like Never Can Say Goodbye,
classic.
16 Candles, Off I Will Find a Way. I mean, very soulful. A lot of rappers sampled from this album too.
Hmm.
Ghostface,
Yep,
Skyrider. This came out in '73. This album was okay.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, this is a rare album from them.
Okay,
This is when Michael's voice started changing. Um,
for the better.
shit, man. Yeah, man. There was this one song called "Touch" that was kind of controversial
Mm.
because it's kind of like Michael talking about a sexual experience at a young age. I think he was like 14, 15 around this time too.
They
So
start early. you know,
very this album's out of print, so y'all can find it. Must
well,
have
all of their shit is out of print.
not all of it.
Not now all the albums on vinyl.
I
I
thought
thought
it's
all of the albums on vinyl were gone.
on vinyl, yeah, on vinyl, yeah,
Yeah,
but
on
not
vinyl. Yeah.
this album,
Hmm.
Triumph. Personally, this is my favorite album that they've done. Period.
Like,
This is when they had "Can You Feel It," "Time Waits for
yes,
No One," "Heartbreak Hotel." This was
classic.
pretty much them doing the whole post-disco kind of Earth, Wind and Fire. It's kind of ordeal. Very dope album.
But have you seen the little mini film of Can You Feel It?
Oh my god.
Yo, they played that on one of the MTV video channels on Pluto TV, the Pluto TV app, and I never seen the mini movie for it until now. Cause
Yeah,
like the only time I seen it was on when Thriller came out on home video back in the day. Cause if you had the home video, they had the making of Thriller, and then they showed the video. That's the only time I seen the video. But they showed the mini movie, and I never seen the mini movie for that.
yeah. I remember when he died, they used to show that a lot on
Hmm.
VH1 and shit too.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And then we got the Victory album.
Yes, yes. One of
Came
my
out
favorites. It's not great though.
This album kind of growing on me. I'm not gonna lie.
I love that album cover again. Album cover was great.
Yeah, very cool album cover. I do admit that.
Marlon did his thing on Body. He did his thing on that one. Even though it sounded like a Michael track, I think Marlon held it down.
Yeah.
But Michael ain't want shit to do with that album. Man.
Then we got the Freddie Jackson,
Freddie Jackson. Dope.
"Rock Me Tonight."
Classic.
This was known for songs like "Rock Me Baby" for old time's sake. "Calling," "I Want to Say I Love You." I'm not the biggest Freddie Jackson fan, but I just got this, because it was a
Hmm.
dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some joints I like, so yeah.
Right. Legend.
That,
Oh God. You actually book out that? Oh my God.
I showed it to
I
you
will
already.
say that album to me is better than Dream Street. I did not like
It
Dream Street
is.
at all. Never
Yeah,
did.
man. Like this is the album, the stuff titled. Do like the album cover though.
Yes, the album cover is dope.
Yeah, like I said, I got this for sample purposes. So
Right. Oh, okay. Cool. Yes.
yes,
Classic, man. I love it.
classic. I mean, no words needed. In my opinion, her best album.
Definitely
I
one of her
mean, what have
best
you
albums.
done for me lately? Alone, man. Shit.
Yep. So many bangers on there. Jermaine. Wow. Which one album is that?
Let's get serious.
Oh,
Let's
that's it.
get
I never seen the
serious.
cover for that. Okay. I don't got that one.
This is probably about the one of the few, maybe the only album I can really say it's a very solid album.
Right.
I mean, he hasn't really had the best career on Motown. I'm not gonna lie.
He hasn't had the best career at all. But he could have had the best career, but
Shit.
they ride it. This is what happens when you ride your famous brother's coattails.
Yeah, man. Stevie Wonder helped him with the production for this album and shit too.
Mm,
Um, yeah, man. Let's get serious.
dope.
Let's get
I
serious.
like Dynamite as well, but that's just me. Oh, you got you got Dynamite.
Yeah, I got this
Hey,
shit.
with the hype sticker, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
with the
dope.
hype sticker. Yeah, I mean, this is when he went to Arista Records. This is when he tried to be like MJ.
Yep. He
I
went through his
mean,
closet, wearing his brother Michael's jackets and shit.
right. Tell me I'm not dreaming though.
I love that.
Oh, I love that track.
Classic. Michael was a genius. He gave hits to his brothers.
Oh yeah, and don't forget Centipede,
Yep. And Centipede, another classic joint.
the
Can't
Jackson
believe
was
it.
scared of. Yeah. So yeah, Jermaine Jackson.
Yeah.
There, here he is, the God
Yes.
himself,
Yes. The
the
man, the
album that
king,
started it
the
all.
real king. We are not worthy.
Yes, got to be there.
Yes.
Look at this shit, man.
Man, Michael knew he was the man back then.
Exactly, like very dope album. I
Yes.
want to be where you. I want to be where you are alone. Oh my God,
Definitely.
ain't no sunshine. Um, Maria, very dope album. Love this shit.
Hmm.
Very underrated album.
I don't know that one.
This was a Forever Michael came out in '75 on
Okay.
Epic. This is the around the time when his voice was really getting to that mature state.
Mm.
Um, I kind of call this album a pre off the wall in a weird way.
Right.
I
Is there
love
disco on there?
some light disco,
Some
I
light
should
disco.
say.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I love the
that's my
song Feel.
thing. So when I hear that, I'm oh god, that's my I gotta check that album out.
Yes. The song Dear Michael, Kim Fields, Facts of Life fame, she did a version of that shit.
I remember that.
Love that version. Just a little bit of you, Dapper Dan. I mean, very underrated album from like probably his most underrated album in his discography. I'm actually playing that song too.
Yes.
I shouldn't be having it. I
Come
should
on,
have this on
man.
the
We
frame.
ain't gotta say nothing. Just show the picture and then move on.
Right,
If
I'm
y'all
not
don't know Thriller, then I don't know what to tell you. Don't listen to music.
Billy Jackson feeling bitchy.
Mm.
This came out in 1977. The godmother of hip hop, in my opinion. I mean, she has songs like "Loving a Good Thing Away," "You Created a Monster Cheating," is "Feeling Like a Woman." I mean, if y'all know about Billy Jackson, y'all should know.
Hmm. Yep.
Extra Sexual Persuasion.
Oh.
Um, yeah, man. She has a song called "Sexercise." That's all I gotta say.
Oh man.
Amar Jamal with Voice with the Bright, the Blue, and the Beautiful. This is a nice little jazz album.
Hmm.
Amar Jamal, you guys should know his name if you guys know hip hop and whatnot. Yeah, this is pretty much like a blind buy. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Definitely gotta check this album out.
Right.
Oh yes,
Rick
Rick
James.
James
Yes. Yes.
busting out the L7.
Mm.
This was a classic out in my opinion. Came out the same year as Come Get It, Space You Love, which was like a tribute to Patti LaBelle.
Mm.
Um, Fool on the Street, Busting Out. I mean, this is a very funky album. This shitty album.
Yeah.
Fired up. I mean, this is when he tried to get the disc, trying to do a little funky, little disco-ish kind of shit.
Right.
Love the album cover.
Right.
But yeah, this is not one of my favorite Rick James albums. Throwing
Yes.
Down.
I have that one.
Yes.
That's a dope. I love
Actually,
that album cover for that too.
oh, you love the album cover?
Yes.
I hate the album
You
cover.
don't like the album cover?
Nah.
It don't scream like rock and roll album cover to you?
It screams, what are you doing? This
Like
that's
a
what it's
like He Man, a gladiator type of. I'm being for real though.
shit. But this is a very underrated album. This came out 1 year after Street Songs, which I don't know why I had this kind of before Street Songs, but okay.
Mm.
Love this. I mean, this whole album has no filler. Money Talks, Standing on the Top with the Temptations, Happy with Tina Marie. I mean,
Hmm.
very dope, underrated album. I'm not. I shouldn't even have to say a word.
Yes, classic
Street
album.
Songs.
Love that.
Adelaide, Soul is a wild as hell. Cold Blooded.
Nice.
This came out in '83. I'm not gonna lie. I like this album,
Mm.
but I'm not gonna call it a classic like a lot of people.
Right.
It has some. It's some like tell me what you want. I like it, but I wish Billy D. Williams would shut the fuck up in certain parts.
Mm.
I like Ebony Eyes. I thought the video was over dramatic.
Right.
PIMP, the simp. Ooh, love that.
Hmm.
Grandmaster Flash rapping on that shit too.
Yeah. Glow. I got that one too.
Yeah, the Sue Ellen hairstyle and shit. Fucking underrated album.
Hmm.
Man, this is the only Rick James album that's never been released on CD. This is when he really wanted to be serious and not do the whole funky shit. He wanted to like do like more R&B, Quiet Storm.
Right.
He has songs like Sha La 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 La, Come Back Home, Moonchild, which a lot of people sample that.
Hmm.
Um, Melody Make Me Dance. But then you have certain people who say that he tried to be like Prince around this time too, especially with a song like Glow
Right.
and shit. But very underrated album. Probably the most underrated album in his discography. If y'all can find this album, let's have it in your collection.
Yeah.
Yep, wonderful. No pun intended.
He looked like Macho Man Randy Savage
Oh my god.
on that cover.
Yeah. This was not a good album. The only song I liked was Lucy's rap with Roxanne Shante.
Hmm.
This is when he went to Warner Brothers Reprise. Um, yeah, man, it was not a not a good time for Rick James.
Ronnie said, "Tell me what you want" is my favorite song from Cold Blooded.
Really? Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, you got that on vinyl?
Yeah,
Nice,
the Def
nice,
Jam 30th anniversary version and
classic.
shit.
One of his best. Still my favorite Jay Z album ever.
Yeah, still sealed up too.
Dope. They need the colored vinyl for that as well. Classic,
I mean, actually,
underrated. I don't know why nobody mentions this album with Blueprint and with Reasonable Doubt. It's a classic to me.
I still can't believe you find this album underrated.
It's to me it's underrated. I mean they did a documentary for the album, so that tells you that should tell people something. He's not gonna do a documentary for any old album.
Right.
Classic,
Stranger.
another classic album. Love
Yes.
that.
Yeah, this is the album that was pretty much broke him out in the mainstream and shit.
Hmm.
Very underrated. I mean, not underrated, but very dope album.
Yeah, I seen I went to like this place that they make portraits and they were selling that that album cover as like a portrait, like to buy like for $100.
Oh wow.
So I might actually get it because I always like album covers, for like posters.
Same shit. You got Billy Joel with Innocent Man.
Dope.
This came out in '83. This is when he was influenced by like doo wop and '50s music, Uptown Girl, The
Classic.
Longest Time. I mean, one of my favorite Billy Joel albums. Period.
Definitely. He had a lot of big hits on that album.
Oh yeah, Billy Joel in the '80s, man. He
Yeah.
was on the
He was
road.
crazy. Yeah.
Grace
Grace
Jones, Night
Jones.
Club.
Wow.
This came out in fucking '81. It's known for songs like Art Groupie, Walking in the Rain, Pull Up the Bumper. Very dope shit.
Catch a sample that.
What y'all know about this? Just Ice, the
Just
Desolate
Ice.
One.
A legend.
Yeah, this came out in '89. This is a very dope album. Karis won the production on this album and shit. I love the first track, Desolate One, Hard Head. I mean, the beats were very hard knocking,
Hmm.
kind of like a somewhat boom bappers kind of feel to it.
Right.
Must have in your collection, y'all can find it.
Dope. Underrated.
I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah, Joe Jones.
that's my girl right here and
That
shit.
was a dope album when we discussed it.
Oh yeah, got a few more albums left. Got Carole King, Tempestry,
Dope.
1971. Um, Pretty much she was a songwriter, singer. She wrote for Aretha Franklin. I love this. It's a very calm, peaceful album. You Got a Friend, Smackwater Jack. I mean, it has a. It's too late. I love that fucking track.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carole King, y'all. That's the
Hmm.
surprise to me and shit. Even one
Nice.
for Gladys Knight and the Pips. Very
Gladys
dope
Knight.
album. This is the last album they did with Motown and shit. Yeah, this is known for songs like Neither One of Us, which got them a Grammy. Don't It Make You Feel Guilty. Very, very dope. But
Yeah.
when they went to Buddha Records, that's when they were really putting out some of the best shit. I know I have another Gladys Knight album here, but some of these albums are mismatched.
Mm.
Fuck it. Got King T, Act a
King T.
Fool.
Okay.
This came out in '88. Very
West
dope
Coast.
album. West Coast legend,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Just know the songs like Act a Fool, Bass Remix, just clowning. I mean, very dope album.
Yeah.
This shit right here, For Life. This came out in '95. My favorite album from King T. The production, the lyrics, and this was pretty much a flawless masterpiece in my opinion.
Hmm.
This is known for songs like Dippin', Super Nigga, Down Ass Loc. I mean, shit, man, one of the best from Compton in my opinion.
Right. Kiss. Which one is
Yes,
this?
Destroyer,
Destroy. Okay.
one of my favorite albums from them. It's known for songs like Detroit Rock City, Shout It, Shout It Out Loud, Beth. I mean, this album and Creatures of the Night are my favorite albums from them, in my opinion. Before they became pussies. There it is. Okay.
I have that one too
Yes.
on vinyl.
I know I have another one. This came out in '83. Very dope album, man.
Yeah.
Save the Overtime for Me. Oh my fucking God.
Classic. Classic track.
Classic track. Oh
Hmm.
yes. Don't Make Me Run Away. You're number one in my book. I mean, they was this album and the last album they put out in the '80s was Love Overboard. My favorite albums that came out in the '80s and shit.
Right.
I got it, Sean. Cool in the Game.
Okay.
Light of Worlds.
I don't have that one. That one I need because I had like some of my favorite songs on there.
Oh yeah. If I had just one Cool in the Gang album,
Mm,
I'm grateful I had this one.
right.
This is when they were on that jazzy shit, that pimped out jazzy shit, you know. Summer Madness,
Mm-hmm.
Higher Plane, You Don't Have to Change,
Yeah.
Rhyme Time People. I mean, yeah, when I tell you guys, Cool in the Gang used to be this futuristic, jazzy, pimped out before JT came in the group. I mean, this was the shit right here that I fuck with.
Yeah.
This I listen to this shit. It's like you don't have to change alone. Like when
Mm,
Master Ace put that sample,
right.
oh my god. I mean, very dope album. My favorite album from them. Yeah.
JT, I think he was at the time he was young. He was the sex symbol of the group.
Yeah.
They went more pop oriented stuff. You know.
He fit more as a Commodore than a gang member. Shit. Got Cool in the
Classic.
Coochie Rap and DJ Polo, Road to the Riches. Came out in '89.
Mm-hmm.
Very dope album. It's a demo. I love that song. Cars. Only song I didn't care for was She Loves Me Not, because Cool Rap's doing a love song.
Right.
Felt kind of weird though. Yeah. But this shit right here.
Yes.
Ooh.
Talk like sex.
Yes. This was the Rated Triple X compilation.
Mm-hmm.
Known for songs like Under 21 Not Admitted, Not Permitted. Some of the songs was recorded between 92 to like 94, 95.
Right.
I mean, they said it kind of differs because I heard some people say 92 to 93,
Mm-hmm.
but some of these beats kind of sound more like 94ish, 95ish a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, yeah, I love this fucking album, man. Like, you know, Miss Lifestyles the Rich and Famous has the original version of I'm Fly. I mean, this whole fucking album is just a
I
fucking like,
mean, if you look at JT back then, he was like the baby face dude in the group. Everybody else looked older around him. You know what I'm saying? Like when they doing joints like Joanna and shit, like that wasn't. They got more pop when he was in the group.
cherish the
You
love.
know, yeah, Cherish and then they started to slide after. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the Forever. Have you heard the Forever album from them?
If it's an 80s album, I probably have never
Yeah,
heard
yeah, it was '80s. So their music started to change after once he
it.
was
That
in.
music started to change to you then?
Well, I like Cool Again. I'm just feeling like I recognize the difference from if you listen to like their '70s stuff and then when they got JT, it started to get more pop. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And to me, they started falling off after that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I
You
definitely see
know?
what you're saying. All right. We're going to go back to the golden age of hip hop. Cool D with
Cool
How You
D.
Like Me Now.
I think I have that one. I want to say I have that one on vinyl.
Yeah, this was released in 1987, his second album.
Right,
I thought I had his first album though, but fuck it. Everyone knows it's on How You Like Me Now, where he was going after LL Cool J,
right.
Wild Wild West, um, Rock You, where he used a Queen sample. I'm a Player. Yeah, this was a very good album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of course, y'all can see the fucking Kangol.
Mm-hmm.
They running over the fucking Kangol and shit. Knowledge is King in '89. His best album, in my opinion. Teddy Riley, man, was on his own with this shit right here.
Mm-hmm.
Have songs like They Want Money, I'm Hitting
I
Hard,
have that. On tape.
All Night Long when he flipped the Groovy sample. I mean, I Go to Work alone. I mean, this whole album, well, he was on some very high class lyricism. The performance he did on this fucking album, man,
Mm-hmm.
very dope. And he's more than the guy that battled LL Cool J. This nigga's a fucking giant in my opinion. Then we got the teacher, Karis
Yes.
One. I
His
got
last
next.
good album to me.
Now, I don't know about that though, but
You like
okay.
Sneak Attack?
Yeah, I love Sneak Attack.
Okay.
Shit. This came out in 97. This was his last album on Job Records.
Yeah.
This was known for songs like "The Trashy Step Into a World." It's a weird. It has some of his best songs, but it has some of his worst songs.
Right.
Like, I love the song "A Friend." That's a
Mm-hmm.
dope track, but I hate the song with Angie Martinez.
Right.
Ugh.
Again, she was trying to get radio play that part.
Right. It was a weird album too. Like
Yeah.
very weird. Yeah, but this was a masterpiece in my opinion. Not like his first two albums, but definitely
Yeah.
his class by itself. I'm gonna run by these like quick. Shaka Khan, her first solo album, Shaka. Very dope album. This is known for songs like "I'm Every Woman," "Life is a Dance," "We Got the Love." I mean, this was a very iconic album.
Yeah. Definitely.
Dance with Me, self-titled one. This never been released on CD,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shame though, because this is one of my favorite albums she's done. This is known for songs like "Slow Dancing" with Rick James, "Got to Be There," her cover of that. She did a bebop melody. I mean, this whole album was again very underrated, and I don't understand why it's been released on CD, but I got the vinyl now, so fuck y'all. Well, LaBelle, Nightbirds.
Yes. I love that album. I was
I,
just playing that a couple weeks ago.
yeah, the album cover is so fucking dope.
Definitely.
This is known for songs like "Lady Marmalade,"
Mm-hmm.
um, "Are You Lonely," "Nightbird," "Space Children." Very iconic album.
Yeah.
Ironically, when they were getting high in popularity, I think this was like the last album they came out with together.
Yeah.
They did like a farewell concert too. Crazy. Then we got the "I'm in Love Again" with Patti LaBelle. This came out in '83. Everyone knows the song "If Only You Knew," which is a classic song. "Love, Need and Want You," "Body Language." I mean, one of probably her best album compared to a lot of people and shit.
Right.
I mean, very dope. I love the album cover too.
Dope.
Lady of Rage, Necessary Roughness. This came out in
That I don't
'96.
think it's a bad album. It's just
Uh,
not a classic though.
I don't like this album.
You don't like it?
Nah. This is when Death Row was really just, at this time, they were just like, oh, yeah, you didn't release an album yet. Let's just put you out there and shit.
Right.
This came out like 3 years too late, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
yes, some Primo beats should not have been here.
Yeah.
Does it have some okay joints? I didn't like Show Shot. That was
Show shot was
okay.
it was dope.
Rough, Rugged, and Raw was decent.
That
I
was dope.
mean,
I like the last track.
Confessions.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that
She's
track
like in
now.
the church or whatever.
Uh,
Yeah. She should have put Afro Puffs on there.
I mean, it was already too late, so yeah. I just felt like they should have released the album when they should have released it on when Prime though.
Right.
Led Zeppelin 2.
Dope.
This is the only Led Zeppelin album I have on vinyl. This was the second album, of course. Very dope album, known for songs like "Thank You," "Whole Lot of Love." Some of Jimmy Page's best guitar riffs are on this album. Yes, taking it back to the hip hop of things. Got LL Cool J is hard as hell
Great.
on radio, 1985 and shit. Should know about this shit right here.
Mm-hmm. LL, the GOAT.
Yes, so Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee.
Mm-hmm.
Finally,
Well deserved.
yes, known for songs like "Community Vet," "You Can't Dance," "Rock the Bells." I mean, fucking classics.
Yes. I hope he performs at the ceremonies if they have it.
Same. Then we got Ludacris,
I love
Red
that
Light
album.
District.
Yes.
When I first heard this album, I'm not gonna lie, I felt it was okay,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's much more solid album than what I remembered and shit. No, so like number one spot. people all over the world,
Damn joint.
spur of the moment. I mean, very, very dope album.
The Potion, the by Timberland,
Ooh,
that shit was fire.
Mary Jane Girl.
Yes, I got that one too.
Yes.
Dope album.
This was self-titled Jordan 83. Very dope album, in my opinion, known for songs like Candyman, All Night Long, On the Inside. Very cool album.
Yes. Do you think Rick was sleeping with any of them?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was. MC Light,
Yes, I had
Light
that.
as a Rock.
Great album.
Very great album. Known for songs like Light as a Rock, Paper Thin, Kick Up for Brooklyn. Very dope album, very underrated.
Yeah.
When it comes to like hip hop sometimes, I don't hear this album gets mentioned.
Did we discuss that one? We discussed that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In my opinion, her best album, Eyes on
Yes.
This.
Definitely.
This came out in '89. Cappuccino, I love that track.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, Cole,
Hmm.
which I feel like that's a better diss track than 10% of this.
Right.
Pretty much ended Internet's career. Um, Cha Cha Cha, everyone knows that
Hmm.
song.
Yeah.
Very dope production on this album.
Dope. Dope. The 80s classics, yo. It's not all about the 90s.
Right. Fucking Mothers of Invention. Frank Zappa's group. We're only in it for the money. I gotta show y'all something. Hold on.
Is there a poster in that or something?
You said what?
Is there a poster in that?
You said what?
A poster. Is there a poster in the
Nah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a play on the Sergeant Pepper cover and shit.
Nice, nice. I'm about to
Yeah.
say, is that a Beatles album?
Nah, it's Mothers of Invention.
Right.
Frank Zappa.
Wow.
Very dope album. This was known for songs like Who Needs the Peace Corps, um, Harry Year Bees,
Mm.
um, Absolutely Free. Very, very, very influential album. I kind of prefer the Freak Out album, which I need to get in my collection, but that album goes for like a lot of money.
Right.
Then we got Chuck Mangione, Feel So Good. This is a jazz artist from the 70s.
Mm.
I got this just for the song Last Dance because I heard it in an episode of WKRP in Cincinnati, and I always wanted to look for that track. So I was like,
Okay.
definitely got to check this shit out. If you love that late 70s jazz, definitely pick this up.
Yeah. Ray Sean says, "Do you have any Pebbles on vinyl?"
Nah,
I need to get her first album. I want to get that.
Biz
Biz Markie,
Markie
yes.
going off. This came out in 1988. Crazy story about how I got this album. So I literally got my purchases, and ironically, I was looking for this album. I was trying to save it to write an album on Discog.
Mm.
However, I saw this album, and they literally had this album on display for $1.
Oh shit.
The one on Discog, I think, it cost me for about 10 or 20 something dollars,
Yep.
and it was like the thing that we issued.
Mm.
This is the OG copy,
OG copy. Wow.
and I met a guy from Coach Chillin. He
Mm.
came, he was an intern. He was telling me like all these stories about how I was like working with them and why Marley
Mm.
left and stuff like that too, and shit, how they were pretty much schooling everybody in Coach Chillin.
I think you told us this story like years
Yeah,
ago. Yeah.
years ago when I got this album.
Right.
But yeah, man. And it's crazy because it's literally about to be a couple years since I got this album too. So
Dope.
very dope album. You know, Kane literally wrote all of the tracks off this album.
Mm.
This was his Don Cartagena, as y'all should say. No, for songs like Picking Boogers, Nobody Beats the Biz, Return of the Biz Dance. This whole fucking album is a flawless masterpiece in my opinion. Um, yeah, man, very, very good album. Classic in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Biz Markie, I Need a Haircut.
Nice.
Came out in '91. Very, very, very good album too. Well, this album, in my opinion, it definitely the samples that they picked was very unique,
Mm-hmm.
and it definitely had a sound that didn't feel like it was made in '91.
Right.
and shit. Like I love songs like what's the song? Let Go of My Ego. It definitely sounds like a Wu-Tang track a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I love Romeo and Juliet. Toilet stool rap, sitting on the bathroom, waiting for my bowels to move. I gotta do do. Yes, I got. I mean, only this much can do a song like that, man. I mean,
Right.
very, very, very dope album. Must have your collection. Going from culture into another culture, a Marley Marl.
Oh Lord.
No, this is In Control Volume One.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I do have Volume Two by the way, but it's
Yeah.
on CD. This is the good version. This came out in 1988. Very, very, very dope album. This is known for songs like Rewrite the Songs with Heavy D in the Biz, Keep Your Eye on the Prize with Master Ace, of course, Symphony. Very dope album, classic album.
Definitely.
Very rare on CD though.
Oh yeah.
By Marley, Catch a Fire.
Classic.
Came out in '73. One of my favorite Bob Marley albums. Dope, dope, dope reggae album, shit like that. Known for songs like Concrete Jungle, Steer It Up, Kinky Reggae. Very iconic album.
Yeah.
We got Kaya,
Nice.
1978. Another dope album and shit. This album kind of got criticized by his fan base because it wasn't as political. It's kind of like it's more of a relaxed album. Known for songs like "She's Gone," "Is This Love," "Waiting," and none of that. That was an extra. Excuse me. "Crisis." Very very dope album. And the last artist I'm about to show y'all. Yeah, this is the last artist. Okay, so this is Tina Marie, "Wild and Peaceful." This came out in 1978. The reason why they didn't show her face because they wanted her to be accepted by the black community before they knew that they would realize she was white.
Right.
Yeah, songs like "I'm Sucker for Your Love," "Turning Me On," "Deja Vu." Very, very, very dope album. Classic album, in my opinion.
Dope. Dope collection. Yes,
Lady
Lady T.
T.
I have that one.
Very dope album.
Yes. We discussed that.
Yes, we did.
Great album.
Classic album. She did like most of the co-producers herself with Richard Rudolph, who was the widower of Minnie Riperton
Right.
and shit. So very, very dope album. And this album was actually dedicated to Minnie Riperton too. So Irons in the Fire. This was the first album she produced and wrote all by herself. Very dope album. She said this is actually her favorite album that she's done too.
Right.
Young Love.
Young Love.
You Make Love Like Springtime. I mean, this is a very good album.
We discussed that one too.
Yep, we did. We
Yeah.
discussed pretty much all albums,
Yeah.
but up to Naked to the World. It Must Be Magic.
Right.
This was a so successful album, if I'm not mistaken. Square Biz, which was like one of her signature tracks.
Mm-hmm.
West California. Portuguese Love. Oh my God, I love that track.
Fire.
Classic album.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite album from Tina Marie, Robbery. Oh my God, this is when she left Motown. Got to Epic. It feels like people gravitate more to Star Child. They forget about this album, which kind of irritates me, but fuck it. This is known for songs like Midnight Magnet, Playboy, Stop the World. Oh, I love that track. Oh my God, Casanova Brown. I mean, this whole fucking album was just a masterpiece. Her best album and shit. And around this time, she actually sued Motown around this time too to get out of her contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why it didn't do so well compared to like, the previous albums, because I think it didn't do the black community was kind of like, oh, so you left Motown for Epic, and this ended up being like this actually was her most successful album, Star Child.
Right.
This came out in '84, and this is the last album I'm going to show from the Blue Crate. This album was okay. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
A bit too '80s on certain parts, you know, but it has My Dear Mr. Gay. Very dope Marvin Gaye tribute. Shout out to Eric Johnson too, because he actually got this music album recently too. And that's all the album I have for the Blue Crate collection. Stay tuned next week when I do the next collection and shit from the next box.
Great collection.
Appreciate it. I'm actually going to end us off for the night
All right.
about 1 o'clock, and a little announcements. So tomorrow is the Sound Bomb and Two review. I might just do that 10:30
Okay.
because I gotta see my friend perform,
Right.
and I gotta do something right after the review and shit too. So I might make that a little earlier and shit.
All right.
Saturday, of course, is the Public Enemy breakdown.
Yes.
Juneteenth.
BJ. Where's BJ? I ain't seen him today.
I think he's at work.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Monday is the Metallica with the fucking Ride the Lightning album too. I don't know what day I'm gonna do the Quincy Jones breakdown beat battle yet. It might be. I'll let you know about that. I have to
All
see
right.
how my schedule is and shit. But this whole Tupac movie breakdown has been fun as hell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
shit, learned a lot of things about Pac I never did. Um, hope everyone asked me a lot of Pac questions and shit. You know, I have everyone ask me what they wanted to ask me and shit. But I
Please
know y'all gonna
ask
ask me
now.
some
I
more
don't want to
questions.
talk about Pop for the rest of the year, so ask now. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
disappointed in you, Q. You didn't ask a lot of Pop questions like you usually do.
shit. Yeah, man, this has been definitely a fun time. Definitely gotta listen to the Soundbombing 2 album tonight and
Yeah.
shit.
There's a lot of songs on here too.
A lot of skits on that
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, man. Also, I'm working on the Zappa and P Funk episode. And I'm gonna start working on that this weekend.
No, no next time. Ask now. I'm not answering no more Pop questions after this. I see you obsessed with this man. You know what I'm saying? Ask
Yeah,
now. This is why we did the Pac breakdown. He's like, maybe next time. I'm not answering nothing. That's gonna be all for Reg from now on. I
shit.
refuse. I love Pac, but I don't want to talk about Pac all the time. I'm good.
I feel you
Okay,
though.
we have to stop this madness with Pac.
Yeah, man. This has definitely been dope. Come tomorrow at ten
He
thirty.
said, "What's your favorite Tupac album?" You want to ask now when he's about to go off? Where were you? Like, was you lurking for the whole show? What favorite Tupac fashion? You too, Ronnie?
Y'all just trolling. Me against the world. The shit he was fucking wearing at the Grammys, and fucking suit and shit. Yeah,
Oh, that suit.
yeah.
Wasn't that a Gucci suit he was wearing?
I think so.
I think it was Gucci.
Gucci
Yeah,
or Versace. I don't know.
some shit like that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all later.
Peace.
Peace. Tupac.